Where the streetlights end, I can hear myself again. Where the streetlights end, the night lets go of my hand. I stepped out of that old hotel with my jacket in the cold. The lobby clock was standing still, like it had nowhere else to go. A cab rolled by without a sound. The driver never saw my face. I watched the city pull away and leave me standing in its place. There was a bar across the corner, still humming through the glass. A lonely sax was talking low about a love that couldn't last. I used to think the dark was yours, like you had named each empty street. But every block I walk alone makes your shadow feel less deep. The sky is turning pale above me. The night is losing all its blue. And every step away from yesterday feels like something I can do. Where the streetlights end, I can finally breathe. I leave the old ghosts talking to the things they made me believe. Where the streetlights end, the road is wide and clear. And I don't need your voice tonight to tell me why I'm here. I still carry pieces of you, but they don't pull me down again. I start to find my way where the street lights end. Keep walking slow, keep walking straight. Let the night fall back behind the gate. One more block, one more breath, one more step out of the old regret. Keep walking, keep walking on. The city fades, but I keep moving strong. I found a bench beside the river where the wind was running free. The water held the morning light like it was waiting there for me. A train moved over distant tracks. A bell rang somewhere down the line. And for the first time in a while, the silence didn't feel unkind. I thought I needed all the answers, every reason, every sign. But maybe peace is just a door you stop being scared to find. Maybe all the love we wasted wasn't wasted after all. Maybe it was only teaching me how to stand after the fall. I don't need to call your number, I don't need to say your name, I don't need to make the past explain the way it came. There are nights I'll still remember. There are songs that still undo. But I can let them pass through me without running back to you. At the streetlights end, I can finally breathe. I leave the old ghosts talking to the things they I start to find my way where the street lights end, where the street lights end. The morning starts to show where the street lights end. I finally let you go. The river keeps on moving, the first bus rolls again. I walk into the quiet where the street lights end. Where the street lights end. And the next road begins. I got nothing left to prove. The world can talk if it wants to. I got nothing left to prove. I know what I made it through. I've seen a man raise his voice just to make a room go still. I've seen another sit in silence with a stronger kind of will. I've worn my share of hard years, kept my pride beneath my skin. Learned you don't need to break a door to know you could walk in. There were nights I had no answers. There were days I took the blame. But the fire that was meant to burn me only taught me who I am. I don't need a crowd to hear me. I don't need my name in lights. I know the weight of my own footsteps when I walk alone at night. Let the loud ones chase the thunder. Let them fight for borrowed gold. Peace with silence, and that silence made me whole. I got nothing left to prove, nothing left to show. I've carried every wound down and learned to let them go. I got nothing left to prove. I don't need to win. A strong man knows the storm outside can't shake the calm within. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them make their noise. I got nothing left to prove. I know the strength of my own voice. Stand still, let the hard days pass. Stand still, you were built to last. No need to fight, no need to run. Some battles end when you become one. Hold your ground, hold it low. You don't need the word to tell you what you know. I used to think that being strong meant never bending in the wind, but the tallest trees are standing 'cause they know when to give in. forgiving men who wrong me, not because they earned the grace, but because I won't keep carrying their darkness on my face. There's a woman somewhere sleeping who once saw through all my smoke. She said, you don't have to conquer every heart that lets you go. And I keep that in my pocket like a match I never strike, a little truth that keeps me warm on the colder kind of nights. I don't need to be untouchable, I don't need to hide the scars. A man can feel the whole world breaking and still not fall apart. There's a power in forgiving, there's a power in restraint, there's a power in walking away without needing to explain. I got nothing left to prove, nothing left to show. I've carried every wound I own and learned to let them go. I got nothing left to prove, I don't need to win. A strong man knows the storm outside can't shake the calm within. Let them talk, let them down, let them make their noise. I got nothing left to prove. I know the strength of my own voice. I got nothing left to prove, but I've got a life to live. I got nothing left to prove, and that is strength enough to give. The room goes quiet after midnight. The streetlights hum below. I got nothing left to prove, so I let the silence show. I got nothing left to prove, and I keep walking slow. Weight of quiet fits better than a crown. The weight of quiet never lets me down. There's a man beneath the street lamp with his hands inside his coat, watching headlights cut the rain like little letters never wrote. He has heard the room get louder when the truth came walking in. He has learned that pride gets heavy when you wear it on your skin. He could tell you where he's been, could name every scar he earned, but some stories don't need witnesses to prove the way they burn. So he lets the city talk, lets the restless night go by. Ain't no need to raise your voice when you know the reason why. Let the hungry chase the spotlight, let them swear they're standing tall. A man who knows his value doesn't have to prove it all. I carry the weight of quiet, I wear it like a coat. I don't need a room to hear me, to know the words I wrote. I carry the weight of quiet, I don't have to win the fight. Some men turn their pain to noise, I turn mine into light. Let them talk, let them wonder, let them call it pride. I carry the weight of quiet, and I sleep just fine at night. Hold steady, hold your ground. Not every truth needs to make a sound. Slow breath, head high, let the storm move across the sky. Stay calm, stay true. You don't owe the world a thing it can't give you. I once mistook a hard heart for the strength a man should have, till I watched it turn to silence and get buried in the past. Now I know that being solid doesn't mean you never bend. It means you know which doors to close and which ones not to defend. I have walked away from anger with it calling out my name. I have left 1,000 battles without needing them to change. There's a woman I remember who could see beyond my guard. She said, peace looks good on you. You don't have to make it hard. I don't need to hide the damage. I don't need to call it brave. Every scar became a lesson I was strong enough to say. There is power in the pause now. There is truth in letting be. A real man doesn't need permission to become who he can see. I carry the weight of quiet. I wear it like a coat. I don't need a room to hear me to know the words I wrote. I carry the weight of quiet. I don't have to win the fight. Some men turn their pain to noise. I turn mine into light. Let them talk, let them wonder. Let them call it pride. I carry the weight of quiet, and I sleep just fine at night. The weight of quiet, it keeps my hands held low. The weight of quiet, and still I keep on going. The rain moves on beyond the glass. The city starts to slow. I carry the weight of quiet wherever I may go. The weight of quiet, and the next night starts to glow. No applause needed. I know the road I walked. No applause needed. I let the silence talk. There's a clock above the doorway, counting out another night. There's a tired man in the mirror, but his eyes are holding light. He has buried what he couldn't save. He has faced what he became. Never needed someone clapping just to stand inside his name. He has watched the loud ones rising. He has watched them lose their way, chasing rooms that never loved them, chasing words that never stayed. So he keeps his hands down low now, keeps his head above the noise. A man who knows his own heart doesn't need to sell his voice. Let the restless chase the spotlight. Let the proud ones fill the air. I have learned the strongest answers are the ones you do not wear. No applause needed, no crowd to make me whole. I have lived through every hard night that tried to take my soul. No applause needed, no reason to pretend. I know what it costs to make it here. I know who I am in the end. Let them measure, let them judge, let them call it what they please. No applause needed. I stand easy in my peace. Stay steady, stay true. You don't need the word to tell you what to do. Hold your line, let it be. Not every war deserves your energy. No applause, no parade, just the man you became. When the noise all fades. There was a time I wore my anger like a chain around my chest. Thought a man had to be harder than the hurt he never confessed. Now I leave the door half open for the light to find its way. I can carry what I've lived through without letting it remain. I don't need to win forgiveness from the ones who did me wrong. I don't need to make them sorry just to know that I moved on. There's a freedom in the quiet, there's a strength in taking time. There's a kind of peace you earn when you stop defending every line. I don't need to be a legend, I don't need to be a king. I just need to keep my promise to the man inside of me. And if the world keeps spinning faster, let it race beyond my door. I have learned that calm is power, and I don't need anything more. No applause needed, no crowd to make me whole. I have lived through every hard night that tried to take my soul. No applause needed, no reason to pretend. I know what it costs to make it here. I know who I am in the end. Let them measure, let them judge, let them call it what they please. No applause needed. I stand easy in my peace. No applause needed. Just this fire burning low. No applause needed. And I still know where to go. The room grows quiet near the dawn. The city hums below. No applause needed. I let the silence show. No applause needed. And the next song starts to glow. I don't need to explain the man I became. I don't need to explain the fire knows my name. blanket on the old chair. There's a glass beside the sink. There's a photograph turned face down for the nights I need to think. I have walked through broken seasons. I have worn the wind alone, learned the loudest kind of strength ain't always the hardest song. I have watched the pride of young men burn like paper in the rain. I have watched the ones who stay quiet carry more than they could say. So I keep my hands unshaken, keep my eyes upon the road. A man who knows his story doesn't need to sell the load. Let the restless keep on talking, let the proud ones take the stage. I've got peace inside my silence that took years for me to make. I don't need to explain the man I became. Every scar in these hands has already said my name. I don't need to explain what it costs to stand tall. I have lost, I have hurt, I have lived through it all. Let them wonder, let them guess, let them try to understand. I don't need to explain. I know exactly who I am. Keep your head low, keep your heart clear. Not every voice deserves to hear. Hold your line, let it pass. Some storms are only meant to move on fast. No need to prove, no need to fight. You can carry your truth through the middle of the night. There was a time I chased approval like a light beyond the door. Thought the world would make me worthy if it only asked for more. Now I know a man is measured by the things he leaves behind. The way he speaks when no one's listening, the way he keeps his mind. I have forgiven without saying. I have walked away in peace. I have learned the deepest power, is the moment you release. And the woman who once knew me before I built these walls so high would be proud to see the stillness in the way I live tonight. I don't have to hide the damage, I don't have to wear it proud. I can let the old paint settle without giving it a sound. There is strength in being gentle, there is truth in letting go. There is nothing weak about a man who finally comes to know. I don't need to explain the man I became. Every scar in these hands has already said my name. I don't need to explain what it costs to stand tall. I have lost, I have hurt, I have lived through it all. Let them wonder, let them guess, let them try to understand. I don't need to explain. I know exactly who I am. I don't need to explain. The silence knows the truth. I don't need to explain. I made it through. The streetlights fade beyond the glass. The night turns soft and blue. I don't need to explain. I know what I lived through. I don't need to explain. And the next road comes in view. Built without a sound. No flags, no warning signs. Built without a sound. One hard night at a time. There's a man at the corner table with the last drink of the night. He don't need to tell nobody what it took to stand upright. He has slept through empty winters. He has worked through sleepless days. Learn the world will test your balance in 100 little ways. He don't speak about the miles that put shadows in his eyes. He just folds them into silence and lets the morning rise. There are men who need a witness for every scar they show, but he knows a river's depth by the way it learns to flow. Let the city chase its echoes, let the loud ones fill the air. He has learned that peace is something you protect because it's rare. I was built without a sound, no applause, no crowd around. Every hard day laid a stone till I learned to stand alone. I was built without a sound, with my feet upon the ground. I don't need to make them see what the night made out of me. Let them talk, let them doubt, let the restless run around. I was built without a sound. Hold the line, let it rain. You don't have to call it pain. Stay low, stay clear. Not every storm needs you near. Build slow, build strong. No need to tell them where you came from. I used to think a strong man never let the hurt show through, till I watched the hardest hearts turn cold from holding to. Now I know there's strength in mercy. There is pride in walking free. There is courage in the mirror when you face what you can't see. I have let a few doors close without breaking down the frame. I have left a few old battles without calling out a name. And the ones who tried to shake me could not take what they never knew. A man becomes much harder when he stops performing truth. I don't need to be forgiven by the noise outside my door. I don't need to prove my value to the things I outgrew before. There's a fire that burns quieter when you learn to trust your hands. There's a strength that does not shout but still knows exactly where it stands. I was built without a sound, no applause, no crowd around. Every hard day laid a stone till I learned to stand alone. I was built a sound, built without a sound. But I can hear my heart now, built without a sound. And I know who I am now. The rain lets go of the window, the streetlights settle down. Built without a sound, I keep moving through this town. Built without a sound. And the next night comes around. Doesn't sound the same. The room after rain almost forgets your name. There's a chair beside the window where the moonlight used to fall. A coat across the dresser, and no picture on the wall. The hallway smells of old smoke. The elevator sighs below. I hear somebody laughing in a room I'll never know. I poured the last of yesterday into a paper cup, watched the city wash itself and slowly wake back up. Your voice still lives in corners where the shadows take their time, but it doesn't fill the whole room like it did some other night. The storm has moved beyond the roofs. The glass is turning clear, and every drop that leaves the window takes a little of you with it. The room after rain feels wider somehow, like the walls have been waiting to let me breathe now. The room after rain still carries your trace, but the silence is softer in the space where you stayed. And I don't have to chase what the night already knew. The room after rain is learning life without you. Let it fall, let it fade, let the water wash the old words away. One drop gone, one breath free, one less shadow following me, following me. Let it fade, let it fade. Not all at once, just enough today. The morning leaves a pale blue on the edge of every door. There's a suitcase by the bed now and a key upon the floor. I don't know where I'm going, only what I can't remain. There are towns beyond this window and a road beyond the rain. I used to think that leaving meant the story had to end. Now I know some broken chapters simply turn into the wind. There's no grand goodbye between us, no last message left to send. Just the sound of rainwater finding its way to the drain. Maybe peace is not a feeling that arrives and never leaves. Maybe peace is just a moment when your heart begins to ease. Maybe I can hold the memory without letting it decide every road that waits before me, every room I step inside. The room after rain feels wider somehow, like the walls have been waiting to let me breathe now. The room after rain still carries your trace, but the silence is softer in the space where you stayed. And I don't have to chase what the night already knew. The room after rain is learning life without you. The room after rain lets the daylight through. The room after rain, so do I. A car moves down the avenue, the wet streets turn to gold. The room after rain feels warmer than before. The room after rain, and the morning takes its time. Calm I keep ain't for sale tonight. The calm I keep took a long time to find. There's a man by the window with the neon on his face. He don't need to fill the silence just to take up space. He has been through empty seasons. He has watched a few things end, learned the strongest kind of answer doesn't need defending. There were people who mistook him for somebody they could move, till they found out peace has weight when it's got nothing left to prove. So he lets the noise keep talking, lets the wild ones chase their flame. He has stopped explaining himself to people who don't know his name. I don't need to win the room, I don't need to raise my voice. I have learned that every battle isn't worth another choice. The calm I keep is deeper than the storm. I don't need the world to see me to know what I've become. The calm I keep won't bend beneath their doubt. I've got nothing left to prove and nothing left to shout. Let them reach for every spotlight, let them make their whole display. The calm I keep will still be here when they fade away. Stay still, let it pass. Not every hard word has to last. Breathe slow, stand free. You don't owe the noise your energy. Hold on, hold true, the world can keep talking. You don't get to name you. I used to think that strength was anger, held beneath a clenched up hand, till I saw how pride can break you, trying hard to make a stand. Now I know a man is measured by the mercy that he gives, by the way he walks through darkness, and the way he chooses to live. I have left some doors unopened, I have let some people go, not because I fear the ending, because I finally learned to know there's a freedom in not chasing everywhere they throw you away. There's a kind of quiet power that gets stronger every day. I don't need to hide the damage, I don't need to wear it proud. I can feel the old hurt rising without letting it get loud. There is courage in the softness, there is strength in staying kind, there is peace in knowing no one gets to own your state of mind. The calm I keep is deeper than the storm. I don't need the world to see me to know what I've become. The calm I keep won't bend beneath their doubt. I've got nothing left to prove and nothing left to shout. Let them reach for every spotlight, let them make their whole display. The calm I keep will still be here when they fade away. The calm I keep is all I need to know. The calm I keep, and I let the midnight go. The traffic thins beneath the rain, the windows start to glow. The calm I keep is where I'll always go. The calm I keep, and the next night starts to flow. These quiet hands, they built what I became. These quiet hands never needed a name. There's a hammer on the workbench, there's dust beneath the light, there's an old coat by the doorway from another working night. I have learned the way to mornings when the world don't give you grace. You get up, you wash your face, you put your boots back in their place. I watch men chase attention like it owed them something true. I have seen them lose their balance, trying hard to be seen through. But I never needed witnesses for the roads I had to cross. Every scar I carry with me cost. Let the loud ones tell their stories. Let them fill the room with smoke. I have learned the realest strength is keeping every word you spoke. These quiet hands have held their share of pain. They never had to raise a fist to make it through the rain. These quiet hands still know how to stay kind. A man don't lose his power when he leaves the noise behind. Let them chase the world's approval. Let them fight to understand. I know who I am by the work of these quiet hands. Hold steady, let it pass. You don't need to make the moment last. Keep your word, keep your soul. Some things take years to make you whole. Quiet hands, open heart. That's where real strength has always started. I used to think that being solid meant I never had to bend, till the hard years taught me softly how the strongest things can mend. I have walked away from anger with it burning at my door. I have left without revenge and still felt stronger than before. There's a woman in my memory who once looked me in the eye, said you don't have to win every room to know your worth survives. So I keep that truth beside me when the old ghosts come around, like a low note from a piano underneath the crowded town. I don't need to hide the tenderness. I don't need to call it weak. I can stand inside the silence and still say what I mean. There is courage in the patience. There is mercy in the call. There is strength in knowing when to lower down your arms. These quiet hands have held their share of pain. They never had to raise a fist to make it through the rain. These quiet hands still know how to stay kind. A man don't lose his power when he leaves the noise behind. Let them chase the world's approval. Let them fight to understand. I know who I am by the work of these quiet hands. These quiet hands, they built a life that stands. These quiet hands, and I don't need more than that. The room grows still before the dawn. The city hums below. These quiet hands know when it's time to let go. These quiet hands, and the next night starts to glow. The things I don't say still tell the truth somehow. The things I don't say are are the reason I stand now. There's a blue light in the kitchen. There's a storm behind the glass. There's an old receipt beside me from a life that didn't last. I could tell you where it hurt me. I could name the nights I broke. But I learned the deepest lessons don't always need to be spoke. I have seen men turn their sorrow into something sharp and loud, throw it like a fist at strangers just to feel a little proud. But I keep mine under moonlight, let it settle, let it breathe. Some things lose their power slowly when you don't give them a scene. Let the room keep on talking, let the restless fill the air. I have made a home in silence and found strength waiting there. The things I don't say are stronger than the noise. I don't need to raise my hands to know the things I don't say have carried me this far. Every wound became a window, every night became a scar. Let them ask, let them wonder, let them never understand. The things I don't say made the man I am. Let it rest, let it stay. Not every truth needs a name today. Breathe it in, let it go. Some roads get lighter when you walk them slow. Hold your peace, hold your ground. The strongest kind of fire never needs to make a sound. There's a photograph in a drawer I don't open anymore. Not because I'm scared to see it, just because I know the score. There are people I forgave without giving them the news. There are battles I walked out of with nothing left to lose. I used to wear my anger like a suit that fit too tight. Thought it made me look like someone who could never lose a fight. Now I know a calm man standing in the middle of the rain has more power than 1,000 words trying hard to prove a name. I don't need to hide the feeling, I don't need to lock it down. I can carry all my history without letting heart alive. The things I don't say are how I survive. The rain goes soft against the glass. The city turns to gray. The things I don't say still guide me on my way. The things I don't say, and the next night fades in slow.